All right, let's do this. We are going to be rocking and rolling with today's episode of Buzzwords. The word of the week is convergence. So this is a really big part of what's happening right now in the market. And we're going to just dive right into this. This is where things literally come together, no pun intended. We've been doing a bunch of episodes about hot words that are happening in AI and marketing. You can see there's our last few episodes, Sideability, Agentic Vibe, and today Convergence. This is where all these things start coming together, and you can see right there, AI, marketing, search. Those three things. ChatGPT, as we all know it, is now bringing together GPT-6, which is merging its chat function, its coding capability, and Atlas browser, which is, if you don't know what Atlas browser is, you should. It literally is where the browser is taken over by your ChatGPT to take action for you inside of that browser. The browser itself is built on the same platform that Chrome uses, which is called Chromium browser technology. It's basically the architecture from Google that's an open source browser. So it works really good. And now that they're bringing all of these together, you can literally see OpenAI's model able to do search, take action, write code all together inside of that. So this is really a big deal. And it's going to change the way people work and do things, which is pretty nuts, because it's going to make it to where you can literally have it do a task and just walk away. A lot like what you're hearing about, like agentic features and agentic agents. We talked about that a couple episodes ago. Same thing. It's going to be able to literally take actions on your behalf and save you the time so that you can invest your time doing something else. All right. So AI, marketing, Publicus, I think that's what I said. Publicus wins Microsoft's $1 billion media account, and agentic partnership and a deal, media buying and AI development, one business. So there's, again, consolidation happening there. Search, B2B buyers now split first touch discovery equally across Google, AI, chat, and social. 3 channels, one buyer journey. So you're starting to see that people are whether they know it or not, multiple tools are coming together to help them make a decision. And that, again, is a convergence. So today we're just going to kind of go through current affairs, marketing trends, social media strategies, SEO, GEO, trending things that are happening, and local business angles. So we're going to kind of fly through it today. Art is down at Topak 66 doing his thing, DJing today. And so it's going to be a windy day down there, I think, although it looks like the wind kind of has subsided some. So I'm just doing this a solo episode, but I'm going to bust it out pretty quickly. So we're just going to hammer through it. So 3 weeks ago, we talked about agentic infrastructure that lets AI act on your behalf. We did do an episode on vibe coding that we didn't release yet because it's a little too technical. But today we're going to talk about convergence, that moment where everything starts coming together and you can start understanding how absolutely enormous this opportunity is for everybody who does anything. Whether you're someone that works behind a computer or you're someone who's out pouring concrete, AI is going to touch your life in some way. This technology is going to be doing things to assist, help, create efficiencies, save money, increase revenue opportunities, every side of everything. So it's actually pretty nuts. When you think about yourself, how many apps do you have on your phone? How many, if you're in business, how many apps do you use just for your marketing? Do you have all the social platforms? Do you have an email platform that you use? Do you have a billing platform that you use? Do you have a social media scheduler? Do you run ads and you have an ad manager? Like, think of your own use cases and then really wonder, I wonder how many of these things AI could help. And I wonder if I put them all together, if everything would just be much easier for you to run your business. And I think that's what we're going to be going into today. So GPT-6, this just launched a couple days ago. I think it was on Tuesday, April 14th. So I guess 3 days ago, 95% human eval score, up from 81%. So the last model from ChatGPT, OpenAI, is gone up 14%. This is basically the human eval score is basically trying to determine all the things that a human can do on a computer. Can the AI do it as well? Okay, so you're seeing that we're getting closer and closer to the 100%. Context window went from 1.5 to 2 million. That is how many pieces of content, words, letters that it can understand all at one time. Like in a millisecond, it understands the entire context of what happened in those 2 million tokens. So that is enormous as well. The hallucination rate is going lower and lower, under 0.1%. And then the cost per token is the same. So it didn't go up. So usually in technology, when things get better, they get more expensive. But at the same time, as we've seen over the years, I remember back when you would want like to get like a little thumb drive that had 256 megabytes, and it was $20. And if you wanted the 512, it was $40. It was like, the price was relative to the memory amount. And then over years, memory got cheaper and cheaper and cheaper, and you can get one of those little thumb drives for $5. So the cost of technology usually goes down over time as the technology enhances its efficiencies at creating it. With AI, it's actually kind of crazy because it's like it's happening so fast. ChatGPT 5.4 has only been around for a few months, and here we are at 6. And I mean, I think 5.4 was around for maybe 6 months to 8 months, and now we're at a model that is jumping over it, and it's not going to cost you anything extra to use it. So that's really, really cool, and it's a really important part about how technology merges like this. There's lots of models out there, right? There's lots of things happening. These are some of the buzzwords of different tech companies that are happening in the news. Llama 4 Scout, that's a 10 million token context window. It's insanely big. It's one of the largest context windows out there. Claude Mythos, I don't know if you've heard about that, but they got shelved due to security issues, being concerned that it could just break into any software at once. And so it limited, which is Anthropic, they limited who can have early access to it, literally to help protect their own companies, the 50 partners, companies like Apple and Microsoft and Google. These were all people on the list, so that they can understand the technology and prevent it being ever used as a malicious suite of tools. GLM 5.1, that is a huge multi-billion parameter model that is really kind of, it's an MIT licensed one. So it's like, I think that they have zero usage restrictions, bench pros. I think it's an open source model. I think MIT usually does a lot of the open source stuff. Stanford has one. China rapidly narrowing the AI gap. Quen. So that's probably the GLM 5.1, Kimi 3. So that's what's the GLM 5.1 out of MIT is now besting with Quen. Quen is a Chinese one, and Kimi K3 is also a Chinese one. So they're now all getting really close to competing with the US models. So that, again, is one of those things you just have to be aware of, that these models are in this huge competition worldwide of who's going to be able to, solve world's problems the fastest. AI data centers, there's 4,000 right now. There was 0 10 years ago. There's concerns about everything from water, grid strain, and limited local jobs, a lot of electrician jobs. That's from CBS. And they are looking at putting in 1,500, I believe, by next year. So that's a 30% increase. So that's going to be another big strain. And then there's a retail store that was ran by AI in San Francisco, and then Microsoft Copilot, Co-work, OpenAI, or Anthropic per task critique model council feature law. That's just another, again, Microsoft's trying to say, like, well, what are we going to do to stay relevant alongside of these other big models on computer use? I mean, Microsoft is why we have home computers, and for them to kind of start sluggishly getting behind these other big guys is a concern for them. And so I think that we're going to start seeing some things coming out of them and their native integration with already existing PC software. So, all right, so it's just going to fly through this. Do you use AI now? We love to hear what people in our local area are using, whether you're using ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini, open source models. Do you use any? Do you not use any? Comment on our video if you can, so that we can kind of look at what our local people are doing. And then would you trust a 2 million token AI agent to read your entire business history and answer questions for your customers? That's a kind of a cool question. Yes, you would. With yes, you would with human review, or not yet, or never. So those are some fun kind of angles to take. So here's kind of a cool cool factoid. Artesia, which is a company, saw an 80% revenue lift from a tool that became available for every advertiser this month. And if you're running Google Ads and you have not turned on AI Max, you are now the control group. So that's a big thing. Like, there's these tools that are going to make advertising much easier and more effective, saving you money and increasing your revenue. Question is, to the audience, are you using these tools? Are you using Performing Max, Meta Advantage, or any fully automated platform yet? Yes, you are. No, you're not. Yes, with some manual changes. No, I don't run paid ads. So that's another good poll question that you guys might want to be able to answer. Something that happened recently that's really important to understand is that Instagram engagement went down 26% since 2024. And this was confirmed by the CEO of Instagram. And really the question then becomes why? What's happening in the market? What's changing? The supply and demand of reels or stories or carousels? Well, here's one thing that's kind of interesting. Reels versus carousels. Reels will get you more reach, but carousels will get you more engagement. And that is coming right off of the Instagram algorithm update that just got released. So that is an interesting fact. Also, scheduling posts are not penalized. So a lot of people that we work with, scheduling platforms, and we have for probably over 10 years now. And there was, in the beginning days and even now, some people thought, well, if you're using a scheduling platform, it's going to hurt the reach because the platform knows that you're using the scheduling platform. Well, Instagram CEO just acknowledged that no, it doesn't. It does not penalize, nor has it. That's just a myth. So use a scheduling platform to help save time, because it saves us a whole bunch of time when we're doing about 1,300 posts a month. So can't do that manually. You got to do something to create efficiencies. Creator economy, $250 million in 2026, on track for $500 billion in the next 4 years. So are you a creator? Is this something that you are out there taking pictures, doing videos, doing reviews for businesses, whether it's a service or a product? Big money in that, but you got to get in front of a lot of people. You got to be good at it. Instagram now has added some new features, pausing reels, creator in second frame. You can reorder carousels after you publish it, and also scheduling, no penalties. So that's what we just talked about. So those are things that happen on Instagram. Compensation tied to conversions and discount code redemptions. So there's some new ways that people are doing creator deals where instead of like just paying somebody, oh, you have 1 million followers, I'll pay you $500 for a video. They are now saying, well, we don't care about how many people follow your page. We want a certain amount of views and a certain amount of redemptions, like conversions. Like, and that's never really happened. Got to use the coupon code. You got to book that at that restaurant. Like, they want real attribution is what it's called. So we're going to see what happens in the market for content creators when they're actually held to a standard of performance versus just bragging rights of their page size. Micro communities outperform public feeds. Discord, Instagram close friends, LinkedIn newsletters beat public feeds on retention, engagement, and purchase intent. So that's another interesting factoid. So discovery is now kind of split into 3 channels. And we talk about this. We've talked about this on each episode so far. This is the SEO, GEO kind of part of what we're talking about. Traditional search is 38%. AI chat discovery is 38%. And social search is 24%. So traditional search has gone down. AI discovery, of course, has gone up, and social search has gone up. And that social search is really primarily because of Gen Z and millennials. ChatGPT, OpenAI, all these chat discovery tools are really increasing the conversion rate. So what does that mean? It means that if you went on Google and you search for something, you're less likely to click on the result and take action than you are if you use an AI model to tell you what the best result is or what the answer is to that question. You're more likely at a 2.8% or 2.8 times conversion rate increase. So that's almost 300% increase on actually clicking. So that's pretty crazy. And in March, the core update for Google just completed. So all of the new stats are going to be rolling out starting this week. So we're going to start seeing new data for probably the next future episodes. Google Discovery filtering out AI content. That's big. Engagement-based filter active. Time on page, shares, return visits, gate discover. That is huge. So now if you're just pumping out fake content out there, we call it AI slop, it'll start removing your content from search results. So that is something to be heavily aware of if you are working in the SEO fields. AI models break questions into 5 to 6 sub queries and rank for sub queries, not just the composite question. So that's kind of an interesting thing on the technical SEO side, is like if someone's searching for something, the way that the AI models are using their discovery overviews is they're breaking it into multiple subcategories and queries that are related to that primary one. So you also want to try to rank for subcategory topics to your primary search. Example, you're trying to rank for plumbers in Lake Havasu City. You will best plumber. What is the best plumber in Lake Havasu City? There's your keyword long tail. Then you have Lake Havasu City plumbers, affordable plumbers. Then you have kitchen sink repairs, Lake Havasu City. Then you have toilet clogged, Lake Havasu City. And you have these additional subqueries with a little description after it. Now you're helping that LLM read those subqueries as well. Voice search, 30% of global queries. Near me, voice queries convert to visits at a higher rate than text. I think we all know that when you're using that Siri or you're using that Alexa and you're asking it a question, that is helping you convert to go to those places. You know, you're not sitting there all day and asking it the same question and trying to ask for different results. You're pretty much dependent on that result you're getting back. So question is are you ranking your website to be able to give back that search query? Because again, those search queries are using Google and using AI now to scrape websites out there and Instagram posts as well to determine whether your result is going to be mentioned back to the person searching. All right. So the biggest topics right now happening is GPT-6 that just came out. Google Discover filter creator backlash happening there. That is AI content getting pushing down. Instagram engagement decline fallout, 26% down. That is one of the top ones. Llama Scout, $10 million context window. That is a big one. There's also other things happening in the news. Grok 5 Q2 timeline, Colossus 2 live. That is one of the largest clusters of GPUs in the world, which is the Colossus 2. That is kind of getting predicated on how Grok 5 is going to launch. It hasn't launched yet, so everybody's kind of waiting for that to happen. And so those are some big things that are happening. Adobe Summit MCP announcement April 19th. So that's coming out in just a couple days. That'll be big because Adobe is one of the biggest graphic and web or video editing tools suites out there. And they are big into the content creation world when it comes to AI. So we're going to be able to see how they're using AI and what new functions and features that they're going to be pushing out really, really soon. All right. And here's Convergence. This is a good quote. Convergence is the death of specialization, and specialization is how small businesses win. So here's a really big look at like what's going to happen when things start consolidating with AI, what businesses are going to be affected. So the convergence benefits whoever builds on the platform. When GPT-6 becomes the single interface, though, OpenAI, in a sense, is a gatekeeper. Because if you want to use its tools, you got to go there. When Google AI mode controls your purchase discovery, Google wins and they pick the winners of who's going to show up. So when Publicis and Microsoft control media placement and AI optimization tools, every agency outside the partnership is disadvantaged. So AI bots right now are up 300%, but deliver 96% less referral traffic because they're just given the answer. They're not giving the answer with the source. They're not saying, oh, you can find that information here. They're saying, here it is. And because of that, it's removing a lot of those clickovers. So publishers, like what we have with the Bee, our content is consumed at scale by systems that have replaced traffic that we usually would receive. Instead of you clicking on a link in Google for a Bee article about a nonprofit opening a soup kitchen near you, the AI overview is just answering the question, and we're not getting the traffic from search. So that is a big thing. This is how convergence is working, and it's exactly how it's designed. And the platform absorbs all the value created by many. So basically, the platform is getting the credit in a sense. It's getting the traffic because you're using the platform, and you're not going over to the websites that are where the actual content came from. So this is a big concern. That's kind of like the look that's happening in our market and what we're doing. And we would love to hear your guys' opinion in the comments of, do you think that's a good thing or a bad thing? A Lake Havasu restaurant where the owner knows every regular's name is how locals survive, right? It's like you go into the restaurant, hey, Charlie, nice to see you. A Laughlin Marina where the staff knows every boat, a Bullhead contractor with a 15-year relationship network, of all the different businesses that they work with and contractors. These cannot be replicated by a platform. There is no algorithm that can absorb their human relationships. Those human relationships at the restaurant, the marine, and the contractor are what's going to continue to keep their separation and no convergence happening in those industries. Publishers, though, like us, where we put out content, we're the ones that are going to see the most fluctuation and change happening in this industry. So it's going to be an interesting world as we are looking at these changes happening. And if AI does 80% of the marketing automatically, what is the 20% that you need done left? So here's a little local angle. Starting this morning, which was 3 days ago when we pulled all this research together, there was 2.5 billion daily queries, some about your city, Bullhead, Kingman, Havasu, Needles. What do you have right now in a plan to be ranking on these LLMs? So this is a question for business owners in our area. Then you look at voice search that drives tourism and walk-ins. 30% of all inquiries or queries are done with voice. So visitors are driving from Phoenix to Las Vegas, or from Phoenix and Las Vegas to here. They're using their car assistants to ask questions. Best waterfront restaurant, Lake Havasu. High intent moment, they call it in marketing. It's like where they are there to spend money at that moment. How is your Google business profile currently ranking? Have you looked at it? Have you checked out your reviews? Do you use one of our tools that we have called Notivo? And if you don't, maybe it's time you do, because Notivo helps you rank on Google. Performance, creator deals for tourism. Tourism, this is a big one. Phoenix Traveler and TikToker are paid per verified booking, and nothing unless it works. So this is like where if you are a content creator and you want to go get bookings for somebody, this is now the time to do it because they're paying for these bookings. So like, are you doing that now, or are you just open for views, or do you actually have like discount codes for places that you want to work with, where you do a video, you mention the code, they get 10 bookings, you get paid off those bookings. So that's going to be a big thing in tourism related stuff. So content creators out there, like, give us your feedback on that. Social platforms, the search engines, this is a big one. Content structured in certain ways, not just that one top search query, but also the sub queries, because that's what AI is doing. So are you rewriting the captions multiple ways? That's a big question. Convergence benefits whoever builds the platform. So right now it's OpenAI, GPT-6. They're converging all their tools into one. Microsoft is doing it. It's the big question right now is what's going to happen, for those small businesses in our area, Mojave County, and Needles, California. What are you doing to kind of AI proof your business? And that's always been my concern, as technology evolves. Is the technology going to replace what I do as a professional in marketing, in advertising, in website development? How is it going to impact what I do? Is it here to replace or just improve? I think that we all can recognize that the days before microwaves, when the microwave came out, it created a convenience and it cooked your food faster and more simpler than maybe an oven or a stovetop. And because of that, it got an adoption rate where every home in America and most in the entire world have a microwave, and some kitchens and restaurants also do. And did it replace someone? Did it replace me using the stove? Did it stop me from using the oven? No. It actually just added a new tool in my kitchen to help save time so that I could prepare something else. While that was saving me time there, I could do something else with my time. And there's two kind of angles on AI right now. There's the pessimist, the optimist, um, and then there's like this convergence in the middle where, we can view both sides of it, and we can recognize that there might be times during this transition of AI where it will start to go negative, and it can start to go back to positive, and it can start to go back to negative. There will be flipping and flopping. There will 100%. As soon as there's one big malicious thing that takes out a power plant somewhere, or turns off the water for a community, or hacks into a bank and you can't get into your bank account for a day or two, there will be something that happens that will change your perspective into what you feel to be very pessimistic. But at the same time, I look at AI and what we're doing with our clients and how we're able to deploy AI into our business to help serve them as a huge benefit. And I can see that right now we're in the benefit part of AI where we're using it to complement what we're doing. We're putting the microwave in the kitchen, and it's helping us save time so that we can spend more time on doing these types of episodes, to educate people on what's going on. We wouldn't have had this time if we didn't deploy certain things to free up the time. We all have the same amount of hours in a day. And I think that right now, those that are going to survive and thrive in this new world coming, that is already 3 years deep, and we are going to go another 3 years of massive change happening. I think those that are going to survive and thrive are going to be the ones that are adopting this AI technology and deploying it into their business as fast as they can, as safely as they can, and responsibly as they can, with always in mind, how can I add more value to my customers and my clients? That is the literal goal that I have every single day that I wake up. I ask myself, what can I do today to help be a better dad and a husband for my family, and a better manager of the business clients that I work with? How can I be better at that? And it's the constant self-improvement and finding new tools and assets that make it me more efficient, so I can allocate my time in different ways, bringing on new people into my company. We have a new developer that's coming in that's going to help create some really cool stuff, because again, developers are in this weird world because code is getting so AI generated, but having an actual developer who understands it very well is going to make it to where he can use the AI to assist him in developing some really cool stuff. And so we're looking at launching more and more cool products. And example, the Notivo product, that actually is now available on Apple App Store. We're going to have a link in the show notes. You can also go to notivo.co and you can get a link there. You can't sign up from the app. That's because the way that Apple works, they want to take a huge piece of the revenue. So we're using it as a dashboard tool only. So if you want the service, go to notivo.co. You can sign up for the service there. You'll get a login, and then you can download the app and you can use the login to access your account. And then Android, it should be available next week. But we're going to be developing some cool new tools that are going to continue to thrust more AI into your business. I'm doing another video probably tomorrow about some new Notivo features that we literally just launched today. That is literally everything I'm talking about: LLM search, GEO, automations. But yeah, that is our mission. And so ask yourself, like, which side of the story do you want to be? Do you want to be on the side of the story that you didn't do anything, and eventually AI took a big part of what you could do for work away from you? Or do you want to be on the side of the story where you embraced it, utilized it, became an expert in it in your craft, deployed it into your business, and are thriving? That's where I want to be, and hopefully you do too. All right, so thanks for joining us on Buzzwords, and we'll see you next time with another cool buzzword.